On this episode, you should not have had to go through this.
I was like, where is he? He's like, no, ma'am, he's gone. It's not fulfilling for me because he's not here. And I hate saying that.
You need to make sure that you're caring for yourself.
It pains me to say that, though.
They need to begin to see you. You didn't ask for change. Change came to you. I'm Ed Mylett. I'm an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and a life coach with one goal: to change people's lives. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Meet Drew Craig. She's a former trauma nurse, mother of 2 boys, ages 4 and 5, and she recently lost her husband in a tragic car accident. Let's take a look at her submission video.
Hi, I'm Drew. I would love the opportunity to meet with Ed and seek his guidance on business, family relationships, loss, life. I lost my husband 8 months ago, and we were kind of at the peak of our marriage, our careers, and it was very sudden. I have 2 young boys, and currently I'm just trying to survive, but I would really like to get to a point where I'm thriving again. And navigating that amongst loss and what that might look like.
Drew.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't you tell me about how you found out about your husband's accident?
Okay. Well, it was the night after our 6th wedding anniversary. Excuse me.
It's okay.
I was asleep, and he was working late that night. And I get a ring on the doorbell, and I look over in the bed, and Ty's not there. So I go to the door, and there's 2 officers there. And I opened the door, and I said, "Yes, officer." And he said, "Are you Mrs. Craig?" I said, "Yes, sir. Is there something wrong?" And he said, "Is your husband Tyler Craig?" I said, "Yes, sir. Where is he?" And at that point, I was kind of looking over their shoulder and looking in their vehicle, like just wondering what's kind of going on. A couple months prior to his passing, we were out on a date night waiting for an Uber, and he got jumped by 2 men and had severe head trauma. So he was still having some symptoms of that. Being a nurse, I was constantly asking him, and we were in the process of trying to get him another evaluation. And so I figured maybe he passed out, or he was at the hospital. And I just remember the officers it was like slow motion. I was like, "I'm so sorry, sir, but you're gonna need to talk faster. So I don't have any family here. My kids are asleep. I need to have somebody, like, where is he? Do I need to call the hospital? My friend's there. Like, what do I need to do?" And I was like, "Where is he?" And they said, "I'm sorry, ma'am." And they just looked down. They said, "Can we come in?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Can you come in? We gotta go." Like, And he's like, "No, ma'am, he's gone." I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you just feel like there's a hurricane going on around you, and then you're just standing in the middle of it. And I just remember falling to my knees and absent crying. And, being a nurse, I felt like it was almost like I was outside of myself looking down. And I was like, my goodness, this is what I've seen before in traumas, in this, and I looked up and I saw the officer. I was like, this is what shock feels like, huh?
You said that.
That's just kind of how it all came out.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
How would you say you are doing and you are dealing with all of this?
Oh, I feel like it's different every day. You know, my boys are everything, and they keep me busy,
I imagine.
which is a good thing. You know, people would say, oh, it gets easier, and I don't think it gets easier. I think it just becomes normal.
More familiar?
Yeah, because I still wake up every day looking for them.
Do you?
In the beginning, I feel like it was just a whirlwind
Yeah.
of decisions and, you know, our life changing and just going through that numbness. And then when it all kind of settled down, just getting frustrated with not feeling anything yet. And now that I feel like I have kind of had that sorrow, that sadness, it's two polar opposite feelings at one time. You know, that joy of new experiences or new things happening, and then there's that devastating heartache at the same time because he's not here.
Do you ever
enjoying
feel
it with
guilty
us.
if you're enjoying something?
Oh, yeah.
You do, like I shouldn't be enjoying this because I should be mourning or he's not here or...
I feel a little bit, but I know he would want us to enjoy it.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
of
he
course
was the
you
most positive person I knew.
would. Was.
And I know that he would want us to be enjoying it, but that's just an innate part of me. It's hard to if my person's not here.
Tell me about him a little bit. Tell us about Tyler.
Oh, he's such a stud. He was a businessman. He was huge on our community, family man. He's the best dad. He was our hero. He ran 120 miles an hour all the time.
Did he?
He just lit up a room, not meaning to. He just made everybody feel special.
Yeah. What about your boys? How are they dealing with this? How are they doing, each of them?
Well, they miss Daddy every day.
Okay.
My oldest is very vocal. I'm very honest with them, but at 4 and 5, it's hard to understand death. I mean, it's hard for me to understand it sometimes. Keegan's my oldest, and he is Tyler's personality 100%.
Okay.
He's just a fireball nonstop. He'll even introduce himself to people. I don't know why, just maybe to get it out of the way, but he's like, hello, my name is Keegan. My dad is in heaven.
Oh my goodness.
So he's very vocal and honest with how he's feeling, but his behavior sometimes it's, you know, you can feel that.
Meaning he's acting out a little
Maybe,
bit?
yeah, he acts out or, you know, he'll have tantrums over nothing.
Bless his
Change
heart.
is very hard for him. Even, you know, putting up the cleats Daddy got him because he grew out of them, you know, or playing baseball, things that they love to do. Change is really hard for him.
Bless his heart.
Cohen's more like me. He's more shy, more even keel, but at least once or twice a day, he'll just kind of look up and he'll be like, Mommy, I miss Daddy.
Really? I just said a prayer for them, just so you know. Just a really quick prayer. It deeply affects me to hear about your boys. You didn't ask for change. Change came to you. And sometimes in life, I think our lives are not necessarily about, you know, the events of our life, but it's the meaning we take from the events of our life that cause the direction. And the meaning we place on something means everything.
Yeah.
And so what we need to talk about today a little bit, I think, is what this means to you right now. You should not have had to go through this, nor should your boys. But I do believe there's a blessing in here, and we're going to find it.
I thought the hardest day of my life was hearing that he has been gone, but it was actually telling my boys that he was gone.
These precious boys of yours are looking to you. You need to make sure that you're caring for yourself.
So, okay, well, what the heck am I gonna do?
We'll figure that out. We're going to figure that out. you today, what are the things that you're navigating most day to day that you're struggling with? Is it the emotional part of it? Is it the financial part? Is it both? Is it caring for you, caring for the boys, all of the above?
Right now, I think it's just kind of navigating and trying to figure out what's best, because like with the boys especially, that's my number one priority. And making sure that they're loved and that they're safe is easy.
Okay.
But understanding them growing up and the seasons that are going to come in their life. And I'm grateful that they have a lot of very good men in their life.
Good. Okay.
But I also don't ever want to replace Ty and ask somebody to be their dad. And the other thing is, I left nursing. Actually, I was in the last week of my job when Tyler passed away. I wanted to stay home more with the kids, so I decided to take over his business. And that is completely different from nursing.
Yeah.
Even though I love a challenge, it's not something that I'm used to. It's not innate for me. And
Is it passionate for you or no?
it's passionate because of my story now. A lot of the decisions I've made up to this point have been to honor him, his legacy, our legacy, and the dream we so vividly drew out for our lives. And I'm starting to feel that it's not fulfilling for me.
Okay.
Because he's not here. And I hate saying that.
It's okay.
And then comes the point where it's like, okay, well, what the heck am I gonna do?
We'll figure that out. We're gonna figure that out. So you feel a little bit guilty because you had this shared dream that you were gonna do together.
Right.
But as you're actually doing the day-to-day of it, it doesn't fill your heart like it did his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we elaborate on it? We should just make sure everyone understands
Yeah,
that.
so
but
he's in financial services, life insurance, retirement, all of those things. He made sure we were financially free if, God forbid, anything were to happen to him.
Well, I think listen, even when something terrible happens, that's a negative thing. That doesn't mean there aren't ripple effects that are happening for us and to us. Tyler, this husband of yours, this wonderful man, was so passionate about making sure families were protected.
Yeah.
And that in the event that something ironically happened to his own family, happened to another one, that they were in financial good shape because of all the emotional parts that come with it. And I'm hoping that today millions of people hear his message through you.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about something as I say that, as you do this business or you don't do it, and that doesn't fulfill you necessarily like it did him. The fact that you're sitting here today, relaying his message, you've probably reached more people today than Tyler would have potentially in his business the entire time. And that's one of the other blessings, what you're just doing, just by being here. And I want you to think about that, and I want you to give yourself credit for that.
Thank you.
And you just did it. And so check one box for a win, right? And check one box for Tyler at the same time. What have you been doing to deal with some of your grief?
Yoga helps me a lot.
Okay.
I love yoga and being busy sometimes,
Yeah.
almost too busy sometimes. My faith
Yeah.
has been a huge part of this, especially a lot of the unknowns and talking to the boys.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the hardest day of my life was hearing that he had been gone, but it was actually telling my boys that he was gone. And knew that they would never forget that day, and I didn't want to mess it up. So my faith and therapy. One of the first things I did was get me and my son's therapy, because I've been through it before, and it was tremendous help. And I sat down with my therapist. I told her, what was going on, and I was like, okay, so what do we do now? What books do I need to read? Who do I listen to? Can we start feeling all of these things? I'm ready to get over this now. I'm ready to get this and move on. And she just laughed at me.
This is the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to say something to you. I think you're onto something with what you said to her. See, I think therapy's amazing and wonderful, and I recommend it. In fact, I promote it.
Yeah.
I think one of the most powerful parts of therapy is that you're actually just listening to yourself talk.
Right.
And your own thoughts. Sometimes it has almost nothing to do with the therapist. Sometimes it's just you being alone with your feelings and expressing them. At the same time, living in these moments over and over again is a really delicate area as well. In other words, talking about something over and over and over again. Sometimes the events of our lives that happen are so traumatic But what can become even more traumatic is the replaying of it over and over and over again, or the playing in your head. Did he go through pain? What happened in this moment? How this, and it's almost like that moment on the ground with the police over and over and over and over again. And so you need to be mindful of this balance of grief and talking about it at the same time, not using it as a weapon to harm you or to create just pain in you on a regular basis. And so let's talk about just a couple things here. One, I think you're doing remarkably well. I think you're doing far better than probably you give yourself credit for doing. The fact that you're here honoring him and your boys and showing them what real strength looks like, real courage looks like, real vulnerability looks like, because you've taken this tragedy and now you're helping people with it. It's amazing. You hear me?
I hope so.
You are. These precious boys of yours are looking to you. And you need to make sure that you're caring for yourself. And there's a delicate balance, and I want to talk about this with you, of honoring what you think Tyler would want you to be doing, right? But truly what your heart's telling you you should be doing.
Yeah.
So here becomes the stuff that we need to work on. Do you want to work on a little bit of some of the changes?
Yes, please.
Okay. We're going to get into that next. Stay with us. Welcome back to Change. I'm talking with Drew Craig. I want to start out by reminding you of, I don't think maybe you knew until this happened how resilient and how strong you are. You talk about sons that should be proud of their mom. Pretty special what you've already done. That in and of itself's enough. But you got to decide something. Do you want to be that woman that every room she walks in the next 20 years, that's Drew, her husband. Her husband. And that's your story. But do you want that to be the story of you the next 20 or 30 years, that's who Drew is? Is that what you want?
No, it pains me to say that, though.
It shouldn't. It's okay. They shouldn't. That's why we're going there. That's not a guilty thing to say. You know, you making progress in your life is honoring him. You staying in that moment forever, that is not what he wanted for you. He wants bliss for you.
Yeah.
He wants his boys to grow up and flourish and make a difference in the world. And he wants his amazing wife to be happy and blessed and to have her own story too, right? Do you want that?
Absolutely.
What do you think it would look like?
Oh, that's the scary part.
Let's just go down the road a little bit though. What would it look like?
I mean, I have always been a person that I have a plan, and I accomplish that plan.
Yeah.
And right now I don't have one. I love Tyler's business, and I love our team and the people that we get to be around and do life with. And I have a really huge heart for that. But I don't know at what capacity, you know, how big that is for me. And I love nursing, but I got worn out.
What did you love about nursing?
I just loved being able to give somebody a piece of comfort when it came to probably one of the worst times that they experience. And I've had patients come back, or even coworkers that had a problem, and you know, I always made sure, because in the ER it's chaos. You know, a lot of things are happening and not a lot of people are talking to the person it's happening to. So I always tried to make a point to tell them, this is what's going on, you're gonna be okay. This is, you know, and the process of what we're doing, what to expect, because it's scary. And having that quick knowledge, that quick intuition, that quick understanding of what that person needs in that moment, I felt like I'm really good at that.
It's interesting to watch you when you talk about it, because I always listen with my eyes. I listen with my eyes a lot, and I watch you, you're like,
sorry.
No, I love it. No, you stepped back into this strength.
Yeah.
And I heard two things there. Do you want maybe a couple tools that I can give you that we can start to write the best chapters?
I want the whole toolbox.
Okay. The unhappiest people operate out of their memory and their history. Your boys will begin to only operate out of history and memory if they don't have a mother who begins to operate out of imagination and dreams again. They need to begin to see you.
You are the five. Get off my stage.
The day-to-day, people aren't with you when you wake up and you're in your closet and you're crying that morning. I know that. I know they don't see all of those other moments. But the overall woman you've already stepped into becoming is truly beautiful. It's truly remarkable. And people are inspired by it. And by the way, I want to take a couple of the words you said. Comforted by you. Watching you be vulnerable and strong at the same time. Watching you navigate this brings comfort to people going through their own version of their terrible moment. I mean, yours is the most extreme version, but there are some people who got the news today they've lost their job. Or their boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse has left them. Yeah. Maybe they're still living, but they've left them and they feel alone, right? Or they're financially scared. Yeah. And someone like you, I think, can bring comfort. And I'd like you to consider what that looks like. I'd like you to start dreaming again. And it's difficult, but you can still do it now. The unhappiest people operate out of their memory and their history.
Yeah.
And that's 99% of people. They operate out of this place of memory and history over and over again. I'm overcoming this. It can sound good. I'm overcoming this. Let me tell you about my alcoholic dad. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this situation. I lost this job. I had and they're constantly trying to move out of this place they think of, which is their history and their memory. And they're just fighting what's familiar.
Yeah.
And you've got to be very careful not to become familiar with this history now, familiar with this pain, familiar with this grief, to the extent that it becomes something you're always operating out of. The tragic thing that's happened to your sons is that they now have a history. They have a before and an after. What was taken from them was just always imagining and dreaming. And I think as a mother, most things with your kids are going to be caught, not taught. You have an even bigger role as a mother now.
Yeah.
And I want you to, if you never remember anything someone said to you, please remember this. Your boys will begin to only operate out of history and memory if they don't have a mother who begins to operate out of imagination and dreams again. They need to begin to see you imagining at least and dreaming again. And they'll catch this from you, Drew. They can have a mama who cries. They can have a mama who has hard days. They can have a mama who doesn't get out of bed every morning. That's okay. But they gotta have a mama who's imagining.
Yeah.
And who's dreaming. And I want you to start to think about what that looks like. Just start. You don't have to have the whole plan. But this idea, you're a healer. You're a healer. What you just told me a minute ago is, I love healing people. I love bringing comfort to people. And I think you should start to think about what that looks like. Publicly, privately, writing, blogging, groups, through your financial business and through other ventures as well. I feel like that you've been giving a gigantic calling. And you don't have to take any of it.
Yeah.
But you are sitting here.
I know.
And you are honoring Tyler. And you are damn good at this. And you are developing tools that can only be developed through going through something in the real world. You find me a self-help person who's never had any tragedy in their life, and I kind of wonder what they know about it. I know about what it's like to come from a screwed up family. Yeah. I know what it's like to come from adversity and addiction and things like that, so I can talk to someone who's had that. Mm-hmm. You know what it's like to come through tremendous pain. Who says her calling is to bring comfort to people? Are you hearing this person talk like I'm hearing this person talk?
Oh, no.
Yeah, see? There's all this stuff being talked about here. So all I ask from you is to make a commitment to do a couple things. Okay. One is that you're not going to be the final chapter of your life be this story. Can you commit to that change for me?
Yes.
And I'll help you with that. Two, and this is the biggie, I want you to begin to imagine starting now again. I mean, like tonight on the flight back. You pray you honored him today. You're always going to honor him. I have a feeling that most of the healing you're going to do is going to involve part of this story.
Yeah.
You know, do you think it's by coincidence you're here with me today?
Oh, no.
Isn't it amazing that we're here? And I now having met you, I have to tell you I'm more convinced than I ever have been about somebody that is being called to do something bigger. I think you have all the ingredients to do it. And I just think you need to begin to imagine and dream about what that might look like.
I will.
Okay. I want to
Thank you for giving me that permission to do that.
You have my full permission. Does she have all of our permission to do that? 100%.
Sometimes you just need to hear it.
Yeah, you needed to hear it, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I have this feeling on my heart. The reason I was getting emotional is that I can feel people's lives being impacted by you. I know we did something very special today together. And it certainly wasn't me. It was you. And so I want to thank you for being here, and I want you to know that I think you're a remarkable, special, chosen, favored, beautiful soul.
Thank you. It's
Okay.
special.
Thank you.
Really good. He's so proud of you. He's so proud of you. He's so proud of you.
Okay. I always want to make sure we help the audience as well, so I'm going to take some questions from the audience. So here's one. I'm proud and afraid of my personality at the same time. I'm addicted to personal improvement. It feels like my identity. I'm battling satisfaction with myself and not sure when enough is enough. What do you got for me? All right, I'll tell you what I got for you. I'll tell you. Here's the thing. Your personality kind of creates your personal reality. One of my really good friends says that all the time. And so your personality is a really important component. But the truth is this. You have to take action in your life. Knowledge is not powerful in and of itself. Knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. And we learn most things through experience, not through reading and listening. And so when you're listening to me or reading one of my books or things like that, it's great that you're learning things, but you don't own it until you experience it. Proof of this is if I play any video games with my son. I understand video games and I can read about them. Any of you ever play a video game with someone who doesn't know what they're doing? I'm down 56 to zip in about 1/4 in that game because what I'm doing is I'm reacting all the time, right? He is dictating the terms and it's reflexive for him because he's done it over and over again. To be good at anything in life, it's got to be reflexive. It means you have to take massive action. Knowledge is only powerful when it's applied.